What's going on, guys? I'm back here with another sports podcast. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so we're back at it. March Madness ended last night. We're here in April with the NHL playoffs starting in 8 days and the NBA playoffs starting next Saturday, the 14th. So we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the biggest subject of today's show is going to be the national championship game that took place last night, and it was an easy Villanova win, and Villanova wins the tournament for the second time in 3 years. Jay Wright is building something special with that Villanova program, and I guarantee you that will not be the last time we see Villanova winning a tournament for a while. Villanova was clicking on all cylinders last night, as they were against Kansas. Against Kansas, they hit so many three-pointers. I think they tied a record in the college basketball history or something like that, and it was just three-pointer after three-pointer, and it was insane. And Villanova took care of business against Kansas, took care of business against Michigan. They won every game this tournament by double digits. So Villanova, clear champion. They were a big favorite to win the whole tournament. They lived up to their expectations. They came in as advertised, and they won the tournament. Second time in 3 years, and most of their team is coming back next year. There's a lot of other teams that are getting a lot of recruits, like Duke. But Villanova is going to have their team back, a team that beat Duke and won a national championship already. I don't see why they couldn't win next year. They could win next year again with the Final Four in Minnesota. Michigan they didn't have to play a top seed at all on their path to the Final Four. They were a 5 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Remember that? They won. They stormed through that and won, surprisingly. They hadn't lost a game since February 6th. February 6th, I believe. And they hadn't lost a game for 2 months. We're coming in, the hottest team in the tournament. Surprisingly, we're a 3 seed. I think they could have been higher. But they were a 3 seed. The West region with Xavier going down, Gonzaga going down, North Carolina going down. They kind of had an easy path to the Final Four. And the South region had an easy path for Loyola Chicago. So Loyola Chicago played them pretty tough in the Final Four. But Michigan got past them and ended up losing to Villanova. So, proud of Michigan. They never had a clear-cut star on their team. I mean, Mo Wagner got a lot of praise by TV channels, but they never really had a clear-cut best player on the team. They were a true team. So that's going to do it for our college basketball talk for a while, probably months before we talk about college basketball. But we're going to talk about some NBA now. With the Rockets, they lost on Sunday to the Spurs, which was a surprising loss, but the Spurs needed that key win. I don't think Kawhi Leonard's coming back for them, and they might be a first-round exit in the playoffs, depending on who they play. But the Rockets, they locked up the 1 seed. The Warriors are definitely going to be the 2 seed. They have Durant's back, Green is back, and Thompson is back, so they could get past the first round with those 3 All-Stars, I believe, against Utah or Minnesota or Denver, whoever they end up playing. And we'll see. They seem to be on a collision course with the Houston Rockets. It's going to be pretty awesome. And then in the East, the Cavs are heating up again in time for the playoffs. So who's going to beat LeBron 4 times in a series in the playoffs? It's hard to imagine him losing a playoff series before the finals. But maybe this year will be the first time it happens in 7 years. Last time was 2009? 2010, I believe. Yeah, 2010 was the last time he was not in the finals, which is kind of crazy to believe. I mean, we could get into that whole debate, is he better than Michael Jordan, but we're not going to talk about that. But the Raptors and the Celtics are going to be tough competition for these Cavs in the playoffs this year. I don't know what Raptors team we're going to get in the playoffs. The Celtics have been playing so well without Kyrie Irving. It's almost like with their backs against the wall, they're a great team. And with Kyrie Irving, they're even more dangerous. And there's rumors coming of Gordon Hayward coming back healthy. So it's going to be between the Celtics and Cavs, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. The NBA playoffs starting next Saturday. We're going to be talking about this. With the East is pretty clear cut on the seeding. The West, we don't really know. But the top 2 seeds in each conference are pretty much decided. And hockey playoffs start next Wednesday with the 3 best teams in the NHL are in the East, and they could end up playing each other in the first and second round between Boston, Tampa, and Toronto. And the NHL, I think they really need to look at the playoff system and go to one like the NBA, so the best teams don't get knocked out in the first round to another really good team, and then a team that doesn't deserve to be in the conference finals ends up being in the conference finals. Like last year, Columbus and Pittsburgh. Columbus and Pittsburgh in the first round last year, it could have been a conference finals matchup, but they were playing in the first round because they're in the same division. So the NHL needs to take a look at that. And baseball's back. Baseball, there's not much to talk about. I mean, the Phillies, we could talk about the Phillies, how their manager is making a lot of bad moves. We could talk about the Astros, they keep winning. The Cubs, they're doing all right, but there's no clear-cut best team in the MLB yet. But a lot of people say the Astros, but it's only been 5 days, so we can't decide that yet. So this Thursday show, we're going to talk about the Masters. We're going to talk more about the NBA, and it'll be a great show. So thank you, everybody, for watching, and have a great Tuesday night. See ya.